Two, one. Welcome, Tim. I'm so honored to have you in my show. How are you today?
I'm fantastic, Catherine. It's fantastic to be here. I mean, it's actually taken us ages to get together, but here we are.
Yeah. But you know how they say everything comes in divine timing. So I guess
It
this is the,
absolutely, yes.
the perfect moment. So I see you as a social selling king.
Thank you. That's
And
very
I
kind of
am
you.
I'm very honored to have you in my podcast. And I want
Wow. It takes a lot of hard work, as you know.
yeah, I know. Yeah, but you're rocking it. And
Thank you.
I'm very grateful if you would like to share something valuable with my audience. For example, around the personal branding. What are the three things that someone can do when they're building a personal brand?
That's a great question, Catherine. I think nowadays we all know that we people have moved online and we're now social. I mean, there's been this great, fantastic working from home experiment that's gone on for the last 12 months that we've all been party to, and I think that's accelerated the need to. We can't see customers face to face, or most of us can't, and so therefore we're on social, and therefore we need to stand out. And I think some of the things that we think that make us stand out don't. For example, I saw someone saying, and they probably work really hard for the fact that they're a Scrum manager or something for Agile,
Hmm.
and so they said that they were very proud of it, so they were putting this as their title. And I pointed out that there was 2.5 million people with this title that I could see on LinkedIn. So they were, 1 in 2 million.
Hmm.
And one of the things that we need to understand from social is that as human beings, what we're looking for is something different, something that's going to incite us or and educate us. So having a personal brand and spending time doing that is so important to not just make us stand out, but to make us memorable. I was joking before you pressed the record button that or in all your photos you're with this flower, and I remember you, and it's instantly rememberable. It is just something so simple, but you're infinitely rememberable. Whereas a Scrum manager or something is instantly forgettable because it just merges in with the complete sea of blandness out there. And that's why it's so important that we all spend time thinking about what we want to be famous for, and how we're going to do it. There's a great book by Mark Schaefer called Known,
Hmm.
and he's written the great thing about Mark is that he thinks very differently. So there's a lot of people that will tell you a lot of stuff about personal brands. Mark tells you something in very easy steps. And it's very different from what's written out there. But personal brand is just so important right now.
For me, it was a game changer, one of the game changers. I told you my best friend took those pictures. She is a professional photographer.
Yes.
We were in the park and she said, "Take the flower." And I was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah. But it's instantly remember. I mean, I just know you as the person with the flower,
Yeah.
and it's about being known as
Yeah.
rather than not being known as, and it's just so it can be just so simple, some of those things. But there's now 700 million people on
Exactly.
LinkedIn, for example. How do you stand out? And that's some of the things. And actually, what I would say is that getting a personal brand is not easy.
Mm.
But it's about working hard and but understanding what it is that you want to be known for.
Exactly. We build personal brand, and
Yes.
people usually don't get that. They think they just show up, make videos, and things come to their plate. But you know that's not like that.
No.
For me, LinkedIn was a game changer in a combination with a personal brand, and I'm personally in love with LinkedIn. But as I said, you are a social selling king, so I would like to
Thank you.
hear
That's very
your
kind of
opinion.
you.
I'm very honest. Um, what's your opinion about social media in general when it comes to selling?
Um, the social media has changed the world. It's changed the way that we run society, and it's changed the way that we run business. Up until the beginning of the pandemic, it was kind of seen as a bit quirky. Now I think it's seen as it's something that you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, 99% of the people approach it wrong, because what they do is that they have traditional marketing is failing. Cold calling, advertising, email, all of those things, we're seeing a downward trend going on.
Mm-hmm.
And while people may say, I'm getting a 2% return on my email marketing, it's still not as good, and it keeps reducing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas everybody's on social, so you've got an ability to talk with people and have conversations. The problem is what they do is that they take their failing marketing from those other places and then see social media as just another channel. So what we'll do is that we'll push all those things that aren't working out into social, and it just doesn't work. Social is a complete different attitude, because what you need to do is in effect, what we're doing is that we're creating conversations. So the classic thing is, I had someone today and they connected to me, then immediately pitched their services. And it's like, well, hello, I'm not interested. But what we need to be doing is that we need to be creating conversations with people. The objective is to create a conversation, not to pitch or sell. You will find that when you have a conversation with person, then the conversation may lead to some sort of commercial interaction. Don't forget that not everybody in the world will buy. But it may be, you go, well, actually, that's interesting, but my brother-in-law's needs to buy that at the moment. So maybe it's a referral. But the problem with social is that people are still using it as in an analog way, but they're using digital, but in an analog way.
Yeah, and it's more like having a healthy human connection than actually trying to sell. Yesterday, I received two absolutely the same messages from two different people on LinkedIn. Guess that they hired the same marketing agency. I say that under quotes,
Probably.
and they're sending the same messages. Just don't do that. It's like if you want to approach to a girl in a bar, for example, just you will not say, hi, I'm doing this and do you want to buy this. It's really not going to work.
Well, it's like walking into a bar and proposing marriage.
Yeah.
I usually say to people, you could buy me a drink first. It's like, and the thing is that you would never walk into a networking meeting and stand at the door and say, hey, it's Tim Hughes and there's 30% off. You just wouldn't ever do that. So why do you think it's acceptable behavior to walk on social media and to do that? I know that people have got targets to make, and I know that there's an expectation. See, in the analog world, there's an expectation that you can ring anybody up and basically do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that on social, except, what we're seeing is that, certainly from my team and the people that we're coaching,
Mm-hmm.
is that the number of sales, the number of meetings, the number of conversations that you can have actually goes up. And they've gone up during the pandemic because
We are
people have
home.
moved online.
Mm-hmm.
So we use this as an example where we have one of our team, he posted a picture of him and his son by the beach. And off that post that only took 10 minutes, he got 5 C-level meetings, 2 proposals and 1 purchase order. There's other blogs. We were having I've just come from another meeting where there's a particular type of blog technique that we're using at the moment. And actually, by using that technique, what we're finding is that people resonate with that particular blog. And we've had one person where off the back of one blog, he's had 2 purchase orders. So the number of people seem to think that you can get more leads and meetings by using phone and email. It's not the case. You can get more leads and meetings by using social, but you've got to use it in the right way.
Exactly. And the valuable content is one of the ways. What happened to me is
Yes.
actually that I've posted a video with playing with my son, just that, nothing else. I wanted to test LinkedIn audience, how they will react, because usually people think it's a C-suite network. And a lot of parenting coaches and coaches who are in that industry, and one of pillars of my business is website building, approached to me and they needed a website and they like the way I treat my son. I never even imagined that would bring in the possibilities. But what is the best blend of sales and marketing?
Sorry, just to follow on from that, we did some research. where we just looked at the likes of content. So you can see whether people like it, because people like it. It's totally transparent. If you don't get any likes, then people don't like what you've posted.
Mm.
And what we've found is that obviously people don't like advertising, but people like humanized posts. And while you need to have on your profile content about what you do and what you're famous for, what you'll find is you'll get more engagement, more likes and comments about your about you with your son than you will do probably about website. But the
Exactly.
thing is, as soon as someone likes and comments, you have something in common.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone likes this thing about your son, it's probably they have a son themselves and they empathize with you. So you have that ability to have that thing in common, which is what we're always looking for in sales and marketing. To answer your question, I think what we're finding is that there's even more of a merger between sales and marketing. I come across so many companies that still where sales and marketing are throwing rocks at each other over email. I mean, we rewrote my second book, Smarketing, about
Mm-hmm.
really as a way of trying to stop that. And we happened to work for a company where we went through a massive change process over about 18 months, where we actually got marketing to attend sales meetings and sales to attend marketing meetings, and got a commonality of language. So what is a lead? And used those terms like marketing qualified lead and sales qualified lead, just so we could actually understand what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But there is this, this, if I can use the term, the sales funnel, there is this sales funnel, and there are certain people that are better at working that sales funnel. It's not necessarily all marketing, and it's not necessarily all sales. Certain people have better attributes depending on where the buyer is in the journey. We need to get to the point where sales and marketing may not necessarily be merged, but at least are working together and have a common language and, talk to each other.
Exactly. I asked this question based on the fact that one of your best-selling books is a Smarketing.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes, that's it there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Smarketing is, it's about merging sales and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell you the name of the company, but it is actually based on a case study.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got two other co-authors on it, Adam Gray and Hugo Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
And we take the person through. It's not conceptual. It's not about my journey or something. It's a workbook that takes you through the journey if you want to merge sales and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you about the pitfalls. It tells you about some of the politics. We've got some stuff in there about account-based marketing, because if you're running account-based marketing, or you're looking to merge sales and marketing, you need to be making sure that those two departments are talking to each other. But it's a as I say, it's a workbook to get people to understand the process of getting people to work closer together.
Brilliant. I love that. Tim, what do you think about paid advertisement on social media?
I hate it. Advertising. I don't know who said that advertising is a tax that's paid by the unremarkable, and it is. I mean, nobody looks at advertising anymore.
I don't know why, but it came to me to ask you this question.
Maybe you've read my materials. Come on, nobody. I don't understand it. This thing that I talk to people a lot, and they say push marketing and broadcast is dead, and then the first thing they do is talk about advertising. Advertising is just pushing your message, and no one's interested. Ad blockers. People and I don't look at advertising. I'm not subscribed to any email. So us as a business, we've been going for 4.5 years. We've not paid for a single dollar of advertising. We don't have an email database. We deleted it in 2018 to comply with GDPR, and we never sent out any emails anyway. And we've never made a cold call. and you don't need to as a business. And I think that I know that the modern buyer just does not expect it anymore. And I think some of the things that we need to do from a marketing perspective is understand what the modern buyer thinks rather than keep telling them what we think they need to think. They're all empowered. They all have one of these. You know, I've got friends that tell me that if they see an advert or they get an email and they go, oh, that's interesting, the first thing they do is they go online and they search and they look for competitors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So one of the things about advertising and email and cold calls you need to understand is that what you're doing is that you're probably driving people to your digital competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're using those methods, you're probably not digital. Your competition who will be digital you're going to drive people to them, and people will go and buy it from a competition. Mm-hmm. So that's a long answer, but yeah, sorry, I don't like it.
Yeah, me neither. I have a list with like 18, maybe 20,000 emails when I started.
Wow.
I don't use it.
But it's, I have 25,000 connections on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. So I don't need an email list.
Exactly.
Because I know, and I can have relationships. Whereas with an email, it's a kind of like, well, do I know the person or do I not? Mm. Is it with all due respect to students, is it a student just looking for something for their dissertation, or is it somebody that I can actually sell to? Exactly. We've got access to 700 million people on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. Connect to them.
Yeah, what's the best place to be? Like,
have a conversation with them. What's the worst thing that could happen? They might ignore you, but the best thing to happen, they may actually have a conversation. You can have a conversation with them.
Exactly. I love this. I completely agree. Brilliant.
Okay, thank you. I thought you were setting me up for. I'm sorry. I thought maybe you'd seen some, because I write about this all the time. People are wasting. It's a waste of money.
No, I was wondering really what you think, because I have the list. I have a guy now building my funnels for something, and actually I have this list, and I was wondering, like, shall I try to use it again or not? Like, LinkedIn is my main source for everything, and it's my main platform for everything, and I'm doing pretty well over there. And now hearing you say the same thing I said to him like 2 days ago, we're done.
There's three things that you need to have on if you're on any social media platform, whether it's LinkedIn or not. The first thing you need is to have what we call a buyer-centric profile. Mm. So that's a profile that your buyers, think about not who you are. I'm not interested as a buyer. I'm not interested that you've completed President's Club 5 times in a row, or you're a great communicator or whatever. I'm interested in solving a business problem. Mm-hmm. So what you need to do is show that you can solve the problem. The other thing about social is that actually it's social. It's about you and me. It's about, what do I remember about you? I remember your photo with you with the flower. Mm-hmm. And that's because I remember things about you, not your company or your products. Mm-hmm. And if you come to any of the DLA Ignite people, my LinkedIn profile, or anybody who works for us, mm-hmm. what you'll see is a very, very different profile, because it's humanized. We use storytelling to say, this is the story of my life. I actually had a internal training session earlier today, and I nearly cried because of the fact that we have one of the team works for us, and they have a special needs child, particularly special needs. And he wrote about the fact, the first paragraph on his LinkedIn profile is that. Now, you look at that and immediately you'll go, Mike Garrison, this guy I need to talk to because he sounds like a great guy. Now, this is just think about the situation, a buyer walking towards a salesperson to say, I want to talk with you and it'd be great to talk with you. You don't get that. At the moment with salespeople, you go, salesperson, I'm not interested in you. You're the enemy, get away. So having a profile is so important. The second thing is about having a network. This isn't about having contacts. This is about connecting with people, not in a salesy way, because we don't like that, but connecting to people and saying, hey, Catherine, I love your photo of you with the flower. hey, it's springtime here, and I'm, just something that we're actually going to get a connection from.
Mhm.
The idea of that connection is actually to have a conversation, not to try and sell something. And that's really, really important to understand. Now, there are three different types, as we see it, types of people out there. There are people that can buy from you. Yeah, that's great. There are people that won't buy from you, but they'll refer you.
Mhm.
And the third type of person is what we would call people with big mouths, so people with big networks.
Mhm.
And these are people that will take your content and share it.
Mhm.
So what they'll do is, for example, um, if you like one of my pieces of content on LinkedIn, that goes through your network. So immediately what's happening is that people who I'm not connected to are immediately seeing my content. So I'm influencing them. So that's the importance of having a wide and varied network. The third thing you need is content. And I cannot stress enough, we train salespeople how to create content. Right now, salespeople creating content is generating so much business. It's just absolutely out of this world. And this is about creating content that says, this is what I do. So when you come to my profile, you can see that I stand for social selling, but also the content that we talked about earlier on, which is about having humanized content. Because what we do is that we form this connection, a human contact with person. And what we want as a salesperson is for someone to like us and see us as someone that can actually help them. And so the three things you need: buyer-centric profile, a network, and you need to have good content, preferably created by yourself.
I absolutely love this,
Thank you.
really, because it so much resonates with me and it's how I'm doing things. And everyone is asking me, like, why are you focusing on your clients and people around you and not on yourself? Yeah, you will understand
It,
one.
it, it is. And it's about the best content is the content where you say, here is a business problem. This is how it can be solved.
Mhm.
Because, and what you'll find is that people will read that, and some people will read it and say, that's not my business problem. But other people will read that and go, that's exactly the issue that we've
What
got
I
right
need.
now. We've got a guy who put out a blog about a particular, about how a company can grow into new markets today. And he put that blog out, and within a week, it got 2 purchase orders. Purely from managing directors saying, this is exactly the problem that we've got right now. You seem to be the person that understands this. Can we get on the phone? They get on the phone, and then they would say, yeah, we can sort it. And then within 7 days, 5 days, we've got 2 purchase orders. And this is, you said the word, it's a game changer. It really is.
Yeah, I love this, really. And hearing it from you, and I'm glad that my audience will also hear it from you, because I truly believe that's really a game changer. What I'm doing here is setting the bell, because now we're going into the second part of the interview,
Okay.
where I will ask you very quick questions, and you have
Yep.
like 10 seconds to answer to me.
Okay.
Okay? What is your favorite book?
My favorite book has to be Crossing the Chasm
Wow.
by Jeffrey B. Moore.
Tell us a little bit more.
I've launched
Mhm.
3, maybe 4 products, basically using it's about how to launch products. And I've launched probably about 4 products successfully using that products and the techniques that it talks about how to use the product. Anyway, yes, it's about launching products.
Great. Love it. Uh, if you have any, what do you like to do in your spare time?
Currently in lockdown, there's not a lot we can do. I'm one of the things I've decided to do during lockdown is to lose some weight, and I'm doing that. I'm actually now running 3 times a week, only 5K, so 15K a week.
Mhm.
My partner and I, we often cycle, but when London opens up, I live in London.
Mhm.
We're big fans of the theatre and the arts, You know, I love to go to plays and love to go to the Royal Academy and stuff like that. I'm a big arts person. I also collect vinyl records. I have about 2,000.
Beautiful. And what would be your advice for someone who's trying, for example, to scale their business?
Um, right now, I think it's hard work, and I think you shouldn't beat yourself up if it feels like hard work.
Mhm.
We made our business global in 2 years by using social and
Mm.
using the techniques and the framework and the methodology that we teach people.
Mm.
There's an awful lot of what I would call noise out on social, and there's an awful lot of, and there's a small bit of signal, and you need to work out what's the noise and what's the signal.
Mm.
You can scale your business very, very quickly. And it is possible to do that. Obviously, you've already heard my comments about what I think about advertising, cold calling,
Yeah, I know.
and you know, there's some charlatans out there that are telling you that, you know, it's crap.
Exactly.
You know, your
It's a
clients are on
marathon.
social.
It's marathon. It's not sprint, right?
It's what it's, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah. And as I say, don't, if you find that it's hard work, it will be.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never worked hard as in I left corporate life 4.5 years ago, and I've never worked so hard. But there again, I've never enjoyed myself so much.
Mhm.
My business partner and I, we don't think it's work. I mean, we've traveled all over the world and we've had such a laugh. But it's a serious job as well.
Exactly. Tell us a little bit about your services, where people can find you, how they can reach out to
The best places to get me is my LinkedIn profile, and I'm Timothy Hughes. And or our website is DLA Ignite.
you.
And what we generally do, what we provide is support around using social media, but very different from any of the other marketing agencies. They tend to use social tactically. What we've done is that we've actually built a framework for the whole of the business. So sales, social selling, but also social HR, supply chain, right across the business. And that's all about stripping out cost and making the business more efficient, whether it's in sales. Whenever we run our social selling course, we always increase revenue by 30% and reduce the sales cycle by 40%, always. And that's usually at the low end of the response that we can get right through across the whole of the business. And we're the only business in the world that does this.
Wonderful. What we can expect from your magic this year, if anything? I mean, it's a lockdown, but let's say it's possible.
I'd love to write a third book.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, we're busily. I mean, we're working. We're very busy because we're offering something that. I mean, we're getting companies ringing us up saying we need to do something about our sales team and we need to do it now. Can you come in on Friday? So we are very busy and we've got head down. And what we're looking, the type of business we want are businesses that actually want to see a response. It may surprise you, but some people just seem to think it's a process. We'll throw some money at it and it will be sorted. We're looking for organizations that really, really want to make a difference. And and we're seeing that at the moment. So just keeping my head down and delivering those and making sure that we're getting case studies. Case studies are really important for us.
And making this world a better place, obviously.
Yes, yeah, it's a bit of a cliche saying that, but
Yeah.
we think that we've changed sales and marketing,
Exactly.
and what we're trying to do is gradually move that out and make sure that every company will be more efficient. But there's also an ability to make organizations actually fit the employees to get more engagement and to have more purpose. So that will change the world.
And to work together. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you so much for being my guest. I truly enjoyed
Catherine, it's
it.
been fantastic. Been lovely talking to you, and it's really nice actually meeting the person with the flower in the hand.
I have to tell this to my friend
Please
because,
do. I do. It's what I remember. It's your personal brand. It's fantastic.
and that's what she said. Like, you're
He's a
giving
genius.
to people. Like, you're giving something, give them something.
Yeah, she's a genius.
Yeah. Thanks once again, and
Thanks,
I hope
Catherine.
to see you soon. Bye.
Bye.